I just want to say this right now before we break it down. I'm going to show a small little trailer. The Baltimore Orioles are not cheating. They suck way too much to be accused of that by the Houston Astros fan base. Come on, guys. But either way, what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today, including a breaking news story. A trade just went down between the Marlins and the Toronto Blue Jays. We have to talk about Trevor Bauer and the umpires. We have to talk about the Brewers, how they might be the best team in baseball ever since they made a trade for certain players. And also Kyle Schwarber, he is doing things that have not been done since Barry flipping Bonds. So today's recap, it's gonna be fun. If you're brand new to the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're going to any baseball games anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. Now let's go ahead and break down the breaking news story from this morning. We have the Blue Jays trading for Corey Dickerson and Adam Cimber. I know a lot about Adam Cimber because he was on Cleveland for quite some time, and he wasn't the best. Let me just say that right now. In return, the Marlins get Joe Panic, the journeyman Joe Panic, and also a minor league pitcher. So yeah, the Blue Jays, they kind of got a lot of value in this. Reason why I say that is because when Corey Dickerson gets traded for a team that's trying to make the playoffs, he all of a sudden becomes good again. Back in 2019, when he was traded to the Phillies, he had 8 home runs, 34 RBIs, and an almost 900 OPS in 34 games for the Phillies. Now, unfortunately, they didn't make the playoffs, if I remember correctly, but still, getting Corey Dickerson to play left field, right field, whenever you need to give Teoscar or Lourdes a day off, or just to plug him in right field or left field, wherever you want to use them, that's a big time upgrade. And they need some bullpen help because that Chatwood fella, I think that's his name, Tyler Chatwood, he got to go. So Adam Cimber hopefully is going to step in place of Chatwood because he's been buns. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you make of this trade? If you're a Blue Jays fan, do you think that you fleeced the Marlins? If you're a Marlins fan, do you think that you got fleeced? Or do you think that Joe Panic is going to turn back the clock like Brandon Crawford and Buster Posey and all of a sudden be prime Joe Panic? Who knows? All right, let's go ahead and talk about Joe Panic's former team, the San Francisco Giants, because they were going up against the Dodgers and Trevor Bauer, and we saw that in the first inning, Mookie Betts and Max Muncy, they quickly make it 2-0 on 2 swings. They go back-to-back, and then Lamont Wade Jr., he continues a breakout season. He brings San Francisco within 1, and I just want to show Trevor Bauer, not only was he checked, but Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, we all love Angel Hernandez. He is just such a bright spot in the community of baseball. I hope you guys can tell I'm kidding. But he takes Trevor Bauer's hand and essentially gives him a hand massage. He checks the webbings of his fingers. He checks every single phalange that he has on that little hand of his. And Trevor Bauer was not cheating yesterday. Will Smith adds a little cushion to the lead, and then Brandon Crawford answers right back with a home run in the 6th inning. But Trevor, he only gave up 2 earned runs and had 8 strikeouts, so he was fairly good yesterday. The Giants were 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position at one point, so they could not get the job done. You cannot run on Cody Bellinger. Tauchman, you should know this because I consider Tauchman a pretty good defensive left fielder. He has a pretty good arm. I wouldn't run on Tauchman or Bellinger. And then Jansen completes the save for number 19 already on the season. The Dodgers, they gain a game, and they're 2.5 games back of the Giants now. Yankees fans are losing full right now. They have lost 4 consecutive games in a row, and they're almost 8 games back of the Red Sox after Shohei Ohtani, in his first ever at-bat Yankee Stadium, hits home run number 26. This was 117 miles an hour, so he ties Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the most bombs in Major League Baseball. You have Jared Walsh, who has been struggling a little bit as of late with a big-time RBI double, and the Yankees tried their best to come back. They score 2 runs, and then Dylan Bundy has to leave with tummy issues. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to show the clip because Jose Suarez was incredible, and he comes in and saves the day for the Angels. You have Max Stassi driving in an RBI on this ground out, and then Jose Iglesias, look at this play over here at shortstop. Now, he does make a bonehead play later on in the game, but I just wanted to show this web gem because Juan Lagares comes up big yesterday for the Angels on this home run, and Stanton, I just want to show this home run because he hits the easiest 430-foot home runs I've ever seen. It's just so effortless. Iglesias comes in huge with an RBI double, and then Raisel Iglesias comes in for the save, and the Angels, like we mentioned, they beat the Yankees 5-3, and I don't know what's happening in New York, but both the Mets and the Yankees are kind of struggling lately. The Red Sox, they got off to a rough start yesterday after Carlos Santana Silos hit a big-time 3-run home run off Garrett Richards. Now, Kike Hernandez, for the 2nd consecutive game, hits a leadoff home run, but then the Royals answer back with Michael Taylor and Whit Merrifield leaving the yard. I want to show this clip from Garrett Richards. He's pretty much saying that he is not going to be the same pitcher without sticky stuff, and that he is essentially relearning how to pitch, and that in the last week he learned a changeup and a curveball. Not a good look in my opinion.
Just trying to figure out how to pitch again, man. Stay in the zone, be competitive, give us a chance to win. That's the only thing I care about. Yeah, it's not a sinker. It's a changeup. It's like a split changeup. So this is just a pitch that I learned literally 4 days ago. No, I've never had to make this kind of change in my whole career. So I'm just trying to make the best of it. And like I said, give us a chance to win.
Either way, the Red Sox, they storm back and they take the victory courtesy of Bobby Dahlbeck, his 10th home run. Then you have Hunter Renfroe hitting a home run. Michael Chavis, he does some damage. And then Hunter Renfroe with his second home run of the game. Both of them were hit 430 plus feet. And again, I just want to say, Garrett Richards, that's probably something that you shouldn't say after the game. It's kind of an excuse for me. I just learned how to throw a changeup. I just learned how to throw a curveball. You weren't good. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, Red Sox fans, they weren't happy with him. They also thought that it was an excuse. So just don't give us that. Just go pitch well and leave it at that. So we just brought up the fact that Garrett Richards was pretty much inferring that he has to relearn how to pitch without the sticky stuff. And Astros fans yesterday, like I mentioned in the intro, they accused the Orioles of using that sticky stuff, but we'll talk about that after the highlights. We have Austin Hayes coming in clutch and robbing Kyle Tucker of a home run. And then Ryan Mountcastle drives in another RBI on this single and then adds a 2-run shot later on in the game. A bunch of walks later, the Astros tied up, but then Austin Hayes on this home run, as well as Pedro Severino and Urias making a 5-run ninth inning. The Orioles do come away with a 9-7 victory as Adam Pluko had to come in and save it because the Astros were trying everything to make a comeback. Mountcastle now has 19 home runs and a 122 OPS plus in his first 108 games. That is really good. And let me show the full clips. So right here you have Harvey trying to warm up for the Orioles, and another guy puts on a rubber doctor's glove and rubs something smooth on the armpit of Harvey's right armpit. You're telling me that Astros fans saw that and they thought to themselves, oh, that's sticky stuff. So what Harvey would have to do is he would have to use his left hand. He'd have to go to his armpit. He'd have to do some of this, transfer it to his pitching hand. That makes absolutely no sense. That right there is what's called red hot. So in my opinion, they put that on the pitching side so it could warm up the arm a little bit because he had to go in and pitch pretty quickly. And to me, I don't know how you can see this clip and think he's cheating. That makes no sense. It's not even the correct arm. The Brewers versus the Cubs. Ian Happ starts off the scoring with an 800-foot home run, not in terms of how far it went, but up in the air. I mean, it almost left the stratosphere. You have Avisail Garcia continuing to dominate baseball. He drives in 2 RBIs on the single and then adds a home run later on in the game. Freddie Peralta was pretty good, kind of a Trevor Bauer-esque performance. 2 earned runs on 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. Then you have Keston Hiura driving in an RBI. And I want to mention that Patrick Wisdom hit this ball no shorter than 750 feet, and they said it was 435. That's an absolute lie. Jackie Bradley Jr., he starts a 10-run inning for the Brewers. We have Willy Adames and Keston Hiura capping it off with 2 3-run home runs. Milwaukee is now 4.5 games ahead of anyone. They're on a 6-game winning streak, and they have the best record in baseball since trading for Willy Adames. So, in my opinion, that was a win-win. The Rays, they've gotten really good results from JP Feyereisen. I know Drew Rasmussen, I think he's injured right now, but it's a win-win. And the Rays, they have Wander Franco. They're chilling. Kyle Freeland was on top of his game yesterday. We'll go ahead and talk about his stat line in just a moment as Daza drives in an RBI on this triple, which is all that Kyle Freeland needed because he goes 5 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts. He does have to leave the game because he was on the bases and he pulled something in his hammy. Can we stop having pitchers hit, please, for the love of God? You have Diaz going 440 feet as Daniel Barr comes in to save it. The Rockies, a pretty quick game. They shut out the Pirates and they win 2-0. The Reds, this was the Nick Castellanos experience. He starts off the scoring with 2 RBIs, and then Alec Bohm, I do want to mention, he drives in 2 RBIs on 2 different base hits, which was big for his confidence because he has a negative 1.8 WAR. He has been atrocious, but over the last month, he is hitting 333, so he is trying to come back. Nick Castellanos hits this grand slam. He drives in 7 total RBIs yesterday. He's up to an almost, I think he has a 350 batting average with 15 home runs, a plus 1,000 OPS, 50 RBIs. I mean, he is playing like an MVP right now. And at the end of the day, the Reds end up scoring 12 runs courtesy of a final blow from Joey Votto as the Reds destroy the Phillies 12-4. The Nationals versus the New York Mets. Kyle Schwarber, he does it yet again. That is 16 home runs in his last 15 games. And then Trey Turner makes it back-to-back. Trey Turner, let me just say right now, he was snubbed as a finalist for the All-Star game. You have Gerardo Parra hitting a home run, and then Paulo Espino goes 5 shutout innings before Schwarber does it again. He has 17 home runs in his last 15 games, and over his last 75 plate appearances, he has 17 home runs, which I think he's one of 4 players ever to do that. The last person who did that was Barry Bonds. Then you have Ryan Zimmerman hitting career home run number 279, so 21 home runs away from 300. The Nationals are now just 3 games back of first place. Moving on over to Cleveland versus Detroit. This is pretty much going to be an easy series because the Tigers, they can't beat Cleveland to save their life, and that even extends to Michigan versus Ohio State. It doesn't really make sense. So Cleveland takes an early 2-0 lead, and then Miggy hits home run number 493, so he is just 7 away from 500. But then the scoring and the momentum shifted to Cleveland yet again as Zimmer drives an RBI. Austin Hedges, of all people, hits a 2-run home run. Cesar Hernandez drives an RBI on a deep double, and then J-Ram hits home run number 17. He has 33 doubles, 34 home runs, and a 147 OPS plus in his last 132 games. Cleveland ends up with 19 base hits, a season high, 13 runs, a season high, and the Tigers, who held the Astros to 5 earned runs total in the last 3 games, they did that against Cleveland. So is Cleveland the best offense in the history of baseball? I think so. And then last but not least, the Cardinals destroyed the Diamondbacks yesterday. Dylan Carlson drives in an RBI on this triple. Yeah, Josh Rojas ties it up in the 5th, but that was it for the Diamondbacks, as Dylan Carlson does it yet again, and the rest of the squad, they go off in the 7th inning. Molina drives in 2 RBIs, and the Cardinals cap off a 5-run 7th inning, courtesy of Paul DeJong hitting a 2-run shot. And that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Do not forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 off your entire order. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and enjoy this day in MLB history.
Fernando ready, and the strike 2 pitch is hit back to the box, dribbling to second. Samuel on the bag, throws to first, double play. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter at 10:17 in the evening.